The play examines that phenomenon of a private, what happens when the public grieving disables the private mourning, and how how when something as traumatic as the death of a father when a boy is 14, and I was sort of at that cusp of sort of turning my relationship, my primary relationship, from my mother to my father, which is about the period that it happens for a lot of you young boys, maybe some earlier. For me, it was right then. So it was right at a time when I was turning to him, and it went away. And so I had nothing there. And so that loss has always been inside of me. And so when working on this play, it's very personal, but because it's a play, we're really intent on it feeling like somebody can watch this and see that own, whatever that was for them. I hope it isn't a death, but some other inability to mourn, and how you deal with that in the sense that your life has to continue. You grow up, time continues on. At one point, people stopped publicly grieving, and life went on, and yet we were kind of stuck, and as our family kind of separated emotionally, we're very close. We don't see each other all that much, but we're very close when we get together. We all kind of went on our own journeys of becoming the adults. And mine has been very much about becoming a man. I'm gay. My father wasn't. He loved theater. He knew I loved theater. He pushed that. He loved it. He was a huge theater fanatic. But it's about how do I become a man? And my father was a man's man. He was a very, very potent male figure. Very populist, very accessible, very open, not macho. That wouldn't necessarily go to that place, but he was a very, very strong presence. And it's taken a long time for that presence to live alongside me, not dominate me, not terrify me, not overpower or pull me down, but just be there. Which, getting to that place has been probably due to the fact that I run a theater, where I am a leader of sorts, and there is politics to running a theater. You have policy, you have aesthetics, you have a constituency, which is your audience, and you have a constituency with the actors, the artists, the staff, the board. And so you have to become an adult. And so this job has actually fast-tracked a lot of this growth in me that was kind of floating for many, many years, without direction. I was an associate artistic director, which is in some ways still being a son. And I think I see sometimes my father in me, in my behavior, and which is odd because it's been so long. So there's obviously something got in there early, or it's genetic, who knows? But then I look at things and I go, oh, I remember when my dad would do things like that, and I didn't like that. I'm gonna change this. Or I'd say, yeah, that's what my father would actually stand by his opinions. And he would be unafraid for someone to criticize him and talk to them about it and not feel destroyed by it. He couldn't, as a politician, especially one who was invested in change, which at that time in San Francisco he was. It was mostly run, all of City Hall was basically white, wealthy leadership, power, business power. And he changed that whole thing, because he wasn't that way. I mean, he was white, but he was from the streets. And so the City Hall doors were opened up to Asians, African Americans, gays, lesbians, in terms of any position of power or just administrative. It just filled, and it's never changed since then. And I see that politic in me about Shakespeare, and I see it in Bill very strongly, and I think we share that very, very keenly. And Bill's the only person I would have taken this to, primarily because Bill is one of those people who you can tell anything to, and he doesn't recoil. He actually becomes more interested, not in a voyeuristic way, but in an empathic way.